Chosen one, listen closely. This message is not for everyone. But if you have been attacked by people who smiled in your face, talked behind your back, twisted your name, copied your energy, and tried to turn others against you, then this message is for you. God is saying something very clearly today. Their own circle is turning on them. The people who once agreed with them are starting to question them. The people who once believed their version of the story are starting to see the cracks. The people who once helped them create confusion around your name are beginning to realize something. They were used. They weren't manipulated. They were given half-truths. They were pulled into a battle they did not fully understand. And now the same circle that once stood against you is beginning to break from the inside. Before I go deeper, write this in the comments. God is fighting for me. Write it if you are tired of defending yourself. Write it if you know God saw what they did. Write it if you believe the battle is no longer yours. Write it if you trust that heaven can expose what people tried to hide. Because chosen one, you need to understand something. You did not lose because they gathered against you. You did not lose because people believed the wrong story. You did not lose because you were outnumbered. You did not lose because they were louder. You did not lose because they had more people on their side. The truth does not need a crowd to survive. The truth only needs time. And now time is beginning to speak. Type 777 if you believe God is correcting what they tried to twist. For a long time, they thought their circle made them powerful. They had people agreeing with them. They had people listening to their version. They had people watching you through their words. They had people repeating things they never verified. They had people judging you based on a story that was never complete. And because you stayed silent, they thought they won. They thought your silence meant guilt. They thought your distance meant defeat. They thought your peace meant weakness. They thought you were too tired to stand. But chosen one, your silence was not defeat. Your silence was protection. Your silence was maturity. Your silence was God keeping you from fighting a battle that He already planned to handle. Because if you had spoken too early, they would have twisted that too. If you had defended yourself too emotionally, they would have used it as proof. If you had exposed everything while you were hurt, they would have called it revenge. So God told you to be still. And while you were still, He was moving. While you were quiet, He was watching. While they were talking, He was recording. While they were planning, He was preparing. While they were gathering people against you, He was allowing the truth to gather strength. Type I am protected if you believe God protected you, even when you felt alone. Chosen one, what is happening now is not random. The circle is breaking because lies cannot hold people together forever. Lies need constant maintenance. Lies need repeated explanations. Lies need emotional manipulation. Lies need people to keep ignoring the obvious. But truth does not need that. Truth can stand quietly. Truth can wait. Truth can breathe. Truth can remain still until the right moment. And now the right moment is approaching. Someone inside their circle is starting to see the pattern. Someone is starting to ask questions. Someone is starting to feel uncomfortable. Someone is starting to realize that the way they treated you does not match the person you truly are. Someone is noticing that the story they were told has missing pieces. Someone is noticing that the person who accused you is now showing the same behavior with others. Someone is noticing that what happened to you was not an isolated situation. It was a pattern. And when people finally see the pattern, the false story begins to collapse. Type truth is rising if you believe the truth is starting to show itself. You may not see all of this yet. You may still feel like nothing is happening. You may still feel like they got away with it. You may still feel like people believed them. You may still feel like your name was damaged. But God wants you to know this. Things are shifting behind closed doors. Conversations are happening that you are not part of. Questions are being asked in rooms you cannot see. People are remembering details they once ignored. People are comparing what was said with what actually happened. People are starting to realize that you were not the problem. You were the one who endured the problem. You were the one who carried the pain. You were the one who tried to keep peace. You were the one who walked away when your soul could not take it anymore. And now the truth is reaching the places where the lie once traveled. Type God saw the whole thing if you know heaven saw what people ignored. Chosen one, the reason their circle is turning on them is because God is allowing hidden motives to come into the light. Some people joined against you because they were jealous. Some people joined because they were weak-minded. Some people joined because they wanted to feel included. Some people joined because your growth made them uncomfortable. Some people joined because they only heard one side. Some people joined because they never had the courage to ask you the truth. But now God is separating people. He is separating those who were deceived from those who were intentionally wicked. He is separating those who made a mistake from those who planned harm. He is separating those who followed the noise from those who created the noise. And this separation is important because not everyone who stood against you understood what they were doing. Some were manipulated. Some were misled. Some were pulled into a story by someone who knew exactly how to play the victim. But now their eyes are opening. And when eyes open, circles break. Type their eyes are opening if you believe people are finally seeing what really happened. Do not be surprised if someone who once acted cold toward you suddenly changes. Do not be surprised if someone who believed the wrong story begins watching you differently. Do not be surprised if someone who once supported them becomes silent. Do not be surprised if someone who judged you starts feeling guilty. Do not be surprised if people who once avoided you now become curious about your side. Because when God begins exposing a false narrative, people do not always apologize immediately. Sometimes they watch first. Sometimes they observe. Sometimes they feel ashamed. Sometimes they do not know how to come back. Sometimes they act normal because admitting they were wrong would require humility. But chosen one, you do not need to chase their apology. You do not need to force their confession. You do not need to beg anyone to see what God is already revealing. Your peace must not depend on their courage. Your healing must not depend on their honesty. Your freedom must not wait for their apology. Type I am free if you are ready to stop waiting for people to admit what God already knows. Now listen carefully. The people who tried to turn others against you made one major mistake. They thought people would never notice their behavior. They thought they could keep controlling the story. They thought they could keep using your silence against you. They thought they could keep acting innocent while planting confusion. But the same behavior they used against you is now showing up around others. And that is how God exposes patterns. He does not always expose people through one dramatic moment. Sometimes He lets them repeat themselves until everyone sees it. They lied about you. Then they lied about someone else. They manipulated you. Then they manipulated someone else. They blamed you. Then they blamed someone else. They played victim with you. Then they played victim again. And now people are beginning to realize that the problem was never only about you. The problem was them. Type the pattern is showing if you believe God is exposing repeated behavior. Chosen one, this is why you must not return to old anger. Because the exposure is not your permission to become bitter. The exposure is your permission to be free. God is not showing you this so you can laugh at their downfall. He is showing you this so you can finally stop carrying what was never yours. You carried blame that was not yours. You carried shame that was not yours. You carried confusion that was not yours. You carried emotional weight that was placed on you by people who never took responsibility. But that burden is lifting. The label is being removed. The lie is losing strength. The circle is breaking. The truth is breathing again. Type the burden is lifting if you feel God removing false weight from your life. There is a reason the attack felt so heavy. It was not just one person. It was the energy of many people believing the wrong thing. That can hurt deeply, because betrayal from one person is painful. But being misunderstood by a group feels like a different kind of wound. It makes you question yourself. It makes you wonder if your truth matters. It makes you feel isolated. It makes you feel like no one sees your heart. It makes you feel like the lie is stronger than the truth. But chosen one, hear this clearly. The lie was never stronger than the truth. The lie was only louder for a season. And that season is ending. Type that season is ending if you are ready for God to close the chapter of false judgment. You have been through a season where people looked at you through someone else's wound. They did not see you. They saw the picture someone painted. They did not hear your heart. They heard the voice of someone who wanted to control the room. They did not ask what happened. They accepted the easiest version. But now the easy version is falling apart. Because the truth has details. The truth has consistency. The truth has fruit. The truth has peace. The truth has time. And the longer time passes, the harder it becomes for a lie to keep standing. This is why God told you not to panic. This is why God told you not to over-explain. This is why God told you not to lose yourself trying to win people who were committed to misunderstanding you. Because He knew the lie had an expiration date. Type the lie has expired if you believe false stories are losing power. Chosen one, you may soon hear things. You may hear that someone who hurt you is now being questioned. You may hear that people are no longer trusting them the same way. You may hear that someone finally saw their true character. You may hear that the group is not as united as it once looked. You may hear that people are pulling away. You may hear that the same person who tried to isolate you is now feeling isolated. But when you hear this, stay humble. Do not celebrate destruction. Celebrate freedom. Do not chase revenge. Choose peace. Do not reopen old wounds. Receive closure. Do not use the truth as a weapon. Let the truth be a witness. Type I choose peace if you want God to keep your heart clean in this season. Chosen one, the biggest victory is not that they are being exposed. The biggest victory is that you are not who they tried to make you. They tried to make you bitter, but you are healing. They tried to make you angry, but you are becoming peaceful. They tried to make you doubt yourself, but you are remembering who you are. They tried to make you feel alone, but you are realizing God was with you the whole time. They tried to make you react, but you learned restraint. They tried to make you chase approval, but you learned that God's approval is enough. They tried to make you collapse under the weight of their opinions, but you are still standing. Type still standing if they tried to break you but failed. This is why their circle is breaking. because the version of you they described does not match the version of you people are now seeing. They said you were the problem, but people see your peace. They said you were unstable, but people see your growth. They said you were jealous, but people see your focus. They said you were bitter, but people see your maturity. They said you were weak, but people see your strength. They said you would not recover, but people see you rising. And this contrast is making people question everything. Type they can see now if you believe your growth is exposing the lie. Chosen one, keep moving. Do not stop to argue. Do not turn around to explain. Do not waste your oil proving yourself to people who ignored your pain. Let your life speak. Let your peace speak. Let your consistency speak. Let your healing speak. Let your next chapter speak. Because sometimes the strongest testimony is not what you say. It is what you become after they tried to destroy you. And you are becoming someone they did not expect. You are becoming calm. You are becoming private. You are becoming focused. You are becoming spiritually sharper. You are becoming harder to manipulate. You are becoming more careful with access. You are becoming more aligned with God. You are becoming the evidence that they failed. Type they failed if you know what they did not finish you. Now I need to speak to the person who has been feeling heavy. You may be tired of being the bigger person. You may be tired of staying silent. You may be tired of watching people believe lies. You may be tired of waiting for God to defend you. But do not mistake the waiting for absence. God is not absent. God is strategic. God does not always rush because He is building something that cannot be denied. If He exposed everything too early, people might not have understood. If He revealed everything too quickly, some would have called it coincidence. But when the pattern becomes clear, nobody can ignore it. When the same behavior repeats, nobody can deny it. When the circle breaks from the inside, nobody can blame you for it. This is why God allowed time. Time is testifying. Type time is testifying if you believe time is speaking in your favor. Chosen one, their own circle is turning because what was built on lies cannot remain united. A circle built on jealousy will eventually fight itself. A circle built on gossip will eventually gossip about each other. A circle built on manipulation will eventually manipulate itself. A circle built on falsehood will eventually collapse under the weight of its own story. And you do not have to touch it. You do not have to push it. You do not have to expose it with your own hands. God knows how to let a false foundation crack by itself. Type God is handling it if you are ready to stop carrying this battle. You were never meant to fight every voice. You were never meant to answer every accusation. You were never meant to convince every person. You were never meant to defend your soul to people who already decided not to see it. You were meant to stay faithful. You were meant to stay clean. You were meant to heal. You were meant to grow. You were meant to continue. You were meant to let God be God. And now He is showing you why your silence mattered. Your silence gave Him room. Your silence protected your dignity. Your silence kept you from becoming part of the chaos. Your silence allowed time to reveal what words could not. Your silence was not weakness. Your silence was warfare. Type MY silence was warfare if you understand why God told you to be still. There is a powerful shift coming after this. Because once the false circle breaks, the right people can find you. Once the false narrative loses power, the right doors can open. Once the wrong voices are exposed, the right voice can be heard. Once the confusion clears, your name can breathe again. And when your name breathes again, your confidence returns. Your peace returns. Your clarity returns. Your strength returns. Your desire to build again returns. Your ability to trust yourself returns. This is restoration. Type "Restore me, God," if you are ready for God to restore what falsehood tried to steal. Chosen one, do not be surprised if the very people who once ignored your side now feel drawn to you. Some will come with apology. Some will come with curiosity. Some will come with guilt. Some will come with silence. Some will come pretending nothing happened. You must use wisdom. Do not let everyone back in because they finally see the truth. Seeing the truth is not the same as being safe. Regret is not the same as transformation. Curiosity is not the same as loyalty. An apology is not always proof of change. So forgive with wisdom. Receive truth with peace. Keep your boundaries with love. And ask God, who deserves access to the new version of you. Type boundaries if you know peace sometimes requires distance. Now listen. The person who led the attack may begin to panic. They may sense that control is slipping. They may sense that people are asking questions. They may sense that the circle is no longer as loyal. They may sense that their version is no longer being accepted without examination. And when people like that lose control, they may try to create more noise. They may try to restart confusion. They may try to pull you into a reaction. They may try to provoke you. They may try to make you speak from pain instead of wisdom. Do not take the bait. Do not react to every attempt. Do not let their panic become your assignment. Stay calm. Stay prayerful. Stay protected. Stay silent when God tells you to be silent. Speak only when God gives you peace to speak. Type "I will not take the bait" if you refuse to be pulled back into chaos. Chosen one, this is your confirmation. You are not crazy. You saw what you saw. You felt what you felt. You were not imagining the hidden hostility. You were not imagining the strange energy. You were not imagining the fake support. You were not imagining the way people changed. You were not imagining the quiet attacks. God saw it too. And now God is handling it in a way that will not require you to lose yourself. Type "God saw it too" if this message is speaking directly to your life. There is a reason you kept feeling like the truth would come out. There is a reason your spirit would not let you fully accept the lie. There is a reason your peace kept whispering, "Wait." There is a reason God did not let you chase every person. There is a reason certain people were removed. There is a reason old rooms closed. There is a reason old connections became uncomfortable. There is a reason you felt alone for a season. God was separating you from the collapse. He was removing you before the circle started breaking. He was pulling you out before the consequences started falling. He was protecting you from being buried under something that was never yours. Type "God pulled me out" if you believe your separation was protection. Now I want to speak this over your life. May God expose every hidden agenda working against you. May God break every false circle built around your pain. May God remove every lie attached to your name. May God reveal the truth in the right timing. May God protect your heart from bitterness. May God protect your mind from confusion. May God give you peace while things are shifting. May God give you wisdom when people return. May God give you discernment when apologies come. May God give you strength to keep your boundaries. May God restore what was stolen through false stories. May God let your growth become the evidence. May God let your peace become the proof. May God let your next chapter speak louder than every accusation. Type Amen if you receive this prayer. Chosen one, their circle is breaking. The false unity is cracking. The hidden conversations are changing. The questions are increasing. The truth is rising. The lie is weakening. The people who once stood against you are beginning to see what they ignored. And through it all, God is telling you one thing. Do not panic. Do not chase. Do not fight from the old wound. Do not become like them. Stay still. Stay clean. Stay close to God. Because what He is doing now is deeper than revenge. It is restoration. It is correction. It is divine protection. It is the clearing of your path. Before you leave this video, write this in the comments. God is fighting for me. Write it for every moment you felt alone. Write it for every lie that was spoken. Write it for every room where your name was twisted. Write it for every person who judged you without asking your side. Write it for every season where you had to stay silent and trust God. Write it as a declaration that the battle is not yours anymore. God is fighting for me. And if this message reached you at the right time, like this video so it can reach another chosen one who is tired of being misunderstood. Share it with someone who needs to know that God can break false circles from the inside. Subscribe to this channel because the next message will reveal why the people who tried to bury you are now being forced to watch you rise. Until then, stay peaceful, stay prayerful, stay protected, and remember this: a circle built on lies cannot stand forever. A plan built on jealousy cannot last forever. A story built against a chosen one cannot defeat God's truth. Their circle is breaking. Your name is breathing again. Your peace is returning. And God is fighting for you.